tí wọ́n fẹ́ máa jẹ ọba ni wọ́n ṣe gàyà díẹ̀ ná ìlú ló láṣẹ ẹjẹ́ ìlú ó jẹun náà ìdí nìyí tó fi jẹ́ pé ẹ̀tọ́ ìlú là ń fowó ìlú ṣe nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ̀rí bí ní ètò ẹ̀kọ́ wa ṣe ń jòkèrè LAUTECH ti di tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé bíi 40 ló ti wẹ̀wọ̀ ọ̀tún pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tòun tòògùn àti irinṣẹ́ tó kojú owó iṣẹ́ sì ti fẹ́ẹ̀ parí pẹ̀lú lórí 100 míì jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ààbò tó dájú òun ohun amáyédẹrùn ní ìṣokùnfà ìdásílẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá láwùjọ òun náà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fi wà nípò kẹta nínú àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí ń pawó wọlé jùlọ lábẹ́lé nílẹ̀ wa ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ ló ti láǹfààní ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà ti gbàlódé táṣeyọrí yìí ó sì jẹ́ kó ń jẹ́ sùn wá bọ̀ láìpẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ń gbowó wọn lásìkò pápá àṣírí Adámàsìngbà àtàwọn inú ojú pópó tí ń sòrú dọ̀sán ńkọ́ àwọn ìlú ti sọ fásì ìwádùn níṣèjọba yìí fi ń mọrírì gbogbo àwọn aláṣẹ gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ló ń sọ fún wa pé pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan wa oòrùn tó kù lókè yìí ó táṣọ gbẹ.
iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Adio.
Bàbá ẹ kú kalẹ̀.
Wá wo nǹkan.
òde bí àtòkèrè ló làákàyè tí wọ́n ń wo sàfún nǹkan ṣáájú káwọn kan tó mọ fóúnjẹ láwa lójú níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti káwọn ọ̀dọ́ kan jọ sílùú Awẹ́ láti máa kọ́ nípa iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà ti gbàlódé lábẹ́ àmójútó àjọ IITA.
Mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá sẹ́yìn ọ̀gbọ́n tí lọ́n gbòòrò ni wọ́n ní ìṣèjọba tí ń bẹ lóde báyìí audio government ni wọ́n ń pè.
èwo lẹ́ ń pè báwọn.
ìjọba tí ń fẹnu yàrá sọ́bẹ̀.
Àdìó ní bí mo ti wí fún wọn pé kó yé mọ́ pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ̀já wúrà ṣé nǹkan tá a fojú rí ni àbí n tó farasin ọ̀nà mọ́níyà àjàyè títí tó fi dé sẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ ti fẹ́ parí ńbẹ̀ ọ̀nà olóko mẹ́rin tó yọ kùlùlù láàrin ìlú Ṣakí Ọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ títí tó fi dé Ìgbòho tí ò ti ṣe é rìn mọ́ látọjọ́ tó ti pẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ọ̀ndàjì l'Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
iṣẹ́ sì ń lọ lọ́wọ́ báyìí lórí ètò ìlera tó múnádóko
jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ò láláṣẹ mọ́ kí wọ́n tó rẹ́tọ̀ wọn gbà.
Bàbá gbogbo ń tẹ́ ẹ sọ yóò tọ́ ni kò sí rọ́ńbẹ́ àmọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ yìí lọ́wọ́ọ́rọ́ pọ̀ kò jónú ẹ sì mọ̀ pé eégún tó bá rorò làwọn á kó bí ìbọn lẹ̀.
Àdìó àti gbọ́njú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́nkùnlé Ọ̀yọ́
eégún tó bá ṣoore fún wa báyìí
làwa ń kó bí ìbọn.
ẹ kú àgbà bàbá.
kò ní í dalẹ̀ ìmọ̀ tú ìmọ̀ jọ ìmọ̀ ẹni ní kò ní í dalẹ̀.
iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Good morning to you, and you're welcome live to Aloore Radio, and we're transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. This is the newspaper review this beautiful Wednesday morning. My name is Neo Asuko, and I'll be bringing you the newspaper review from the Punch newspaper.
Good morning, I'm Timi Tokbo Jawo. This morning I have Nigerian Tribune newspaper with me. You're welcome.
Moving on, don't forget you can follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook, Aloore Radio, on YouTube, Aloore Radio, or you visit our website on www.alooreradio.com, and you can also download our application via the Google Play Store, so you can catch up with what is going on right here. So moving on, my first story is coming from the Punch. Wike's romance with Tinubu's men rattles Amechi's base. You can read more on that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
And on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune this morning, our church killings, how suspects were arrested, Chief of Defense Staff on the governor, page 5 of Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, settle with ASU now. Vice Chancellors begs federal government, page 8.
And on page 2, Rep Summer Finance Minister demand details of 6.7 trillion naira subsidy for 2022.
And the federal government inaugurates council to revive Ajaokuta orders, page 19.
And still on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune, since 1966, we have killed 1 million of the souls to keep this country together. Nigeria will remain one. Buhari. And
from page 9 of the Punch newspaper, 5 arrested over Aloore attack. Governor warns kidnappers, page 9, the Punch.
APC to commence presidential campaign September 28, page 3.
Lagos Ibadan traffic, miscreants rob motorist. Police deny abduction. That can be found on page 4 and 5.
And on page 26, EFCC arrest 47 for alleged internet fraud in Ibadan, Lokoja.
Nigeria spends $2.35 billion on phone importation. Report.
On page 8 of Nigerian Tribune this morning, Ikoyi building collapse due to negligence by agencies. Corona and on a sport news, we have a headline that says Serena said to retire on page 31.
Kwara cultists gone down 2 during August celebration. Page 5, the Punch newspaper.
And on page 3, Sanitarian said INEC denies giving recognition to Lawan Akpabio.
And teenagers remanded for murder. Ex-convict bags 6-month jail. That can be found on page 5 of the Punch newspaper.
And with that headline, we shall observe a very short break, after which we'll come back to give you the details of today's daily. Please stay tuned and enjoy us more.
àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀.
ẹ ǹlẹ́ bàbá àdìo ẹ wo aṣọ ọ̀gbẹ́yẹlé nìkan mọ́ nísìn ẹlẹ́yẹlé gan-an làṣà ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ojú òní ìmọ̀ wa rí yín fún. ṣé ẹ rí i nígbà tí ìjọba kọ̀ tí ó sọ̀rọ̀ láwọn ọ̀dọ́ ti ṣaṣara bàgbó pé kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ́ bí ó kù lágbègbè wa ni wọ́n bá níjọba sọ pé kámúrí wá ká fọrùn lẹ̀.
tá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àdìo ìwọ náà sì tún pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ jáwúra mi bí wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tíjọba àpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ń sọ ni pé a lè fi nǹkan tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ṣàtúnṣe nǹkan tí ò dáa ó dáa àdìo láti gbẹ̀ tí wàá dẹ̀hùn ṣé eégún kan ti wá yọrẹ sí babaláwo yín bí.
rárá o bàbá.
ní nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé kẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ́ tó fọn níjọba ti yàwó tùlù fún ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò àmọ̀tẹ́kùn pé kí wọ́n fi tọ̀gbẹ́ tààlà láti lé gbogbo àwọn ẹni ibi jáde ní kọ̀lọ̀fín wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣètò ọlọ́pàá scrodom ibi fáàbò gbogbo wa nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ náà ni ṣèjọba tó wá ṣe yùn ní òwà rẹ̀ nìràn lẹ́rù ni ó tún mọ́ ọkọ̀ fẹ́ bí.
ọ̀rọ̀ yín yé mi bàbá àmọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ ní táwọn èèyàn mọ̀ ń wíìkì.
àwọn ará bíi ti tòṣèlú bọ̀ ọ́nù nígbà àtàkùté wọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta òde ó rí wọn lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára táwọn ti ròyìn òfegè ní ibi láti sọ̀jọba gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ní súná bú ni.
bàbá kí là á wàá ṣe ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pọ́rọ̀ sọkúsọ bíi náà nú ẹ̀rùn ni.
ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ tẹ́ ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dénú náà ni kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún gbogbo òlù pé orí ìpinnu àṣà ò gbọdọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dúró lé.
ó ti yé mi bàbá mo sì ń lọ rèé fọn rere rẹ̀ náà nù. iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Welcome you once again and thank you so much for staying tuned. My first story this morning shall be found on the page 2 of Nigerian Tribune with a headline that reads Rep Summer Finance Minister demand details of 6.7 trillion naira subsidy for 2022. The House of Representatives on Tuesday resolved to summon the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, for failing to provide relevant documents on the 6.7 trillion naira first subsidy for year 2022, as well as details of public funds approved for payment of first subsidy claims from 2013 to date. The chairman special ad hoc committee investigating petroleum subsidy regime, Honorable Ibrahim Aloore, issued the notice during the resumed investigative hearing at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Aloore, who spoke during an interactive session with the minister's representative, Director of Finance in the ministry, Mr. Stephen Hopkins, and representative of some oil companies, resolved that the finance minister had until August 16 to appear before it with all the relevant documents in subsidy claims, while describing the minister's recent statement that the country will require 6.7 trillion naira to service subsidy as a worrisome. Aloore said, and I quote, "This committee requested from you to know the total amount released from the consolidated revenue account and subsidy payment from January 2013 to date." Please read further on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune. Rex Summer Finance Minister demand details of 6.7 trillion naira subsidy for 2022.
And for my first story, coming from page 2 of the Punch newspaper, Wike's romance with Tinubu's men rattles Amechi's base. There are strong indications that the Rivers State All Progressives Congress, led by immediate past Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, is angry about the romance between the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu's men and the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. Wike has in recent times been meeting with some APC chieftains, including Tinubu's allies. On Monday, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was invited by Wike to inaugurate a road project. For more details, you can read more on page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
Also on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune. Since 1966, we have killed 1 million of resources to keep Nigeria together. Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari has admonished political issues to stay focused and uphold the ultimate objectives of promoting interest of the country rather than engage in the self-centeredness that led to the loss of about 1 million lives in the Nigeria Civil War of 1967 to 1970. President Buhari, who affirmed that we are Nigerians, God willing we remain Nigerians, and Nigeria shall remain one, made these remarks when he received former state chairman of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change (CPC) at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, on Tuesday. He noted that the passion and zeal for improving the livelihood of Nigerians, which culminated in creation of the CPC, had not dwindled, calling for more steadfastness as Nigerian. Buhari therefore urged that the experience of the Civil War must not be allowed to repeat itself, noting that the CPC was founded on the bedrock of patriotism and loyalty to the unity of Nigeria. Read the more of the story on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune.
5 arrested over Owo attack. Governor warns kidnappers. The Chief of the Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, on Tuesday said masterminds of the Owo Catholic Church attack and other terrorists behind other daring attacks in the country have been arrested. The Punch reports that some gunmen had on June 5 stormed St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, killing no fewer than 40 worshippers and injuring others. The federal government, however, said the Islamic State of West African Province terrorists were responsible for the attack. For more details, read or turn to page 9 of the Punch newspaper.
And on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune, Senatorial says INEC denies according recognition to Lawan Akpabio. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has denied reports that it accorded recognition to Senate President Ahmad Lawan and former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs Honorable Godwin Akpabio as senatorial candidate for Yobe North and Akwa Ibom North West respectively. Nigerian Tribune check revealed that the electoral umpire had maintained that All Progressive Congress had no candidate for Yobe North as the party failed to present Bashiru Machina, who won its primary as candidate. In Akwa Ibom, both Akpabio and former Deputy Inspector General of Police Udom Hudo Budom have consistently laid claim to the party's ticket for Akwa Ibom North West, with the state resident electoral commissioner Mike Guinea proclaimed Akpabio as the winner of the primary monitored by INEC. Read further on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune.
Resolve issues with ASU now. Vice Chancellors beg federal government. The Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities has said the government's insistence that it does not have money to fund Nigerian universities is disheartening. The Punch reports that the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Mr. Festus Keyamo, and in an interview said the government had no money to meet ASU's demands and would not go into borrowing. You can read more on page 8 of the Punch newspaper.
And still on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune, Makinde effect a minor cabinet reshuffle. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde on Tuesday directed a minor reshuffling of his cabinet. Reshuffling says Olasukomi Olaleye to head the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftain Affairs, where Honorable Bayo Lawal will be in charge of the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Investments and Cooperatives. The reshuffling was announced at the Executive Council meeting at the Executive Chamber of the Governor's Office in Ibadan. A statement by the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasil Olatibosu, indicated that the meeting had in attendance the Deputy Governor of the state, Mr. Bayo Lawal, the Secretary to the State Government, Olubamiwo Adeosun, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Segun Ogowoye, and other members of the State Executive Council. Please read further on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune.
Railway retirees protest sale of quotas. The retired workers of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, under the aegis of Railway Senior Citizens Association of Eastern District, Enugu, on Tuesday staged a peaceful protest in Enugu against an illegal sale of railway quotas premises in violation of its subsisting court judgment. The senior citizens who carried placards with various inscriptions such as "Railway Police Enugu Stop Aiding and Abetting Content of Court." Addressing journalists, the chairman of the association, Mr. Monday Nona, lamented how government officials would violate valid and subsisting court judgment with impunity and turn around to ask to Nigerians to be law-abiding. For more details, turn to page 20 of the Punch newspaper.
Still on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune, Ondo Assembly declares seats of 2 lawmakers vacant. The Ondo State House of Assembly on Tuesday declared the seats of the lawmakers representing Ilaja constituency 2 favor to Menemu and Eze Odo constituency Success Takunojo vacant over alleged anti-party activities. The suspension of the 2 lawmakers was a secret letter from the ward level of the 2 lawmakers, which were addressed to the chairman of All Progressive Congress in the state and subsequently forwarded to the House of Assembly. Get more of the gist on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune.
Federal government disburses 100 billion naira to local farmer firms. The President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, on Tuesday said the federal government had so far disbursed 100 billion naira to indigenous pharmaceutical manufacturers and healthcare investors as loans to expand their capital base and boost local production of medicines and consumables. He also revealed that the federal government was addressing the brain drain in the health sector caused by the massive exodus of medical practitioners from Nigeria to other countries. For more details, turn to page 24 of the Punch newspaper.
And on page 7 of Nigerian Tribune, Oyo government reiterates commitment to reduce the dependence on oil, promoting agricultural products for export. The Oyo State government has reiterated plans to reduce dependence on oil as a major source of revenue with the promotion of agricultural products for export. The State Commissioner for Trade, Industry, Investment and Cooperative, Olasukomi Olaleye, stated there is a while delivering a keynote address during the State Committee stakeholders meeting on export promotion in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital recently. Olaleye, who informed of the state's readiness to harness articulated idea and recommendation that will boost agricultural production, serve the purpose of the committee meeting was to circulate necessary information on the efforts of the government through the Nigeria Export Promotion Council in relation to the government policy program targeted at giving agriculture the priority it deserves. Read further on page 7 of Nigerian Tribune.
Lack of breast milk kills premature babies. Milk Bank. The founder of Milk Booster Breastfeeding Company, Dr. Chineye Obiwanne Ezewike, has said a lot of premature babies die due to lack of breast milk to sustain them. Speaking at the unveiling of Milk Bank Nigeria in Lagos, Obiwanne Ezewike said it was for this reason she decided to invest in donor breast milk adding that the mothers within our community constantly sought breast milk for premature babies. For more details, you can turn to page 27 of the Punch newspaper.
On page 8 of Nigerian Tribune, Ondo, Edo, Bochik account for 10 new Lassa fever cases, hence they say. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control says Ondo, Edo and Bauchi states accounted for 10 new additional Lassa fever cases reported in the country. The NCDC via its official website said that Ondo accounted for 30%, Edo 26%, and Bauchi 40% of the recorded cases between July 25 and July 31st. The news agency of Nigeria now report that Lassa fever is a viral hemorrhagic fever transmitted by route. It has been known since the 1950s, but the virus was not identified until 1969, when two missionary nurses died from it in the town of Lassa in Nigeria. Read more on page 8 of Nigerian Tribune.
Health insurance now mandatory for Nigerians. Director General Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Health Insurance Authority, Professor Mohammed Sambo, has said the new NHIA Act 2022 now makes health insurance mandatory for all Nigerians. He added that it would give up to 83 million vulnerable Nigerians. He said the critical areas of modification were in nomenclature, NHIS to NHIA, and the objective of the organization should be to promote, regulate, and integrate. For more details, turn to page 27 of the Punch newspaper.
And on page 26 of Nigerian Tribune, EFCC arrests 47 for alleged internet fraud in Ibadan, Kogi. Operators of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) have arrested 47 suspected internet fraudsters in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, and Lokoja, Kogi State. In Ibadan, 29 suspects were arrested by operatives of the Ibadan Zonal Command in a sting operation at Omiadio area. According to a statement on Tuesday by the EFCC head media and publicity with the Wajere, items recovered from them included mobile phones, laptops, 2 motorbikes, 1-inch video games, and jewelry. Wajere said that they will be arraigned in court as soon as investigations are concluded into their cases. Read more on page 26 of Nigerian Tribune.
Itagiwa demands power shift in Cross River. The former senator who represented Cross River South, Florence Itagiwa, has said that it is the turn of our senatorial district to produce the state governor. She said people of our district had in the past supported Cross River North and Cross River Central to produce governors. According to a statement on Monday in Lagos, Itagiwa said this during the inauguration of a movement tagged Ninyenadiemi, which means it is our turn. She also commended youths participating in politics, describing it as a good sign. For more details, turn to page 29 of the Punch newspaper.
Still on page 26 of Nigerian Tribune, mob set ablaze the mentally challenged man for allegedly kidnapping children in Kogi. A mentally challenged man has been killed by a mob after he was accused of abducting children by diabolic means in Okene local government area of Kogi State. It was gathered that the mob paraded the man on the streets of Okengbe before setting him alight. A source who witnessed the incident said the mob tied the man's 2 hands and beat him before he was dragged to Okengbe, where he was set on fire. Meanwhile, the chairman of Okene local government area, Honorable Abdulrazak Muhammad, has ordered the arrest of the masterminds of the killing. In a statement on Tuesday, the council chairman describes those who participated in the mob action as criminal and took the law into their own hands without allowing law enforcement agency to handle the situation. Read more on page 26 of Nigerian Tribune.
And the federal government issues 1.9 million passports, inaugurates production center. The federal government has said no fewer than 1.9 million passports have been issued to Nigerians between January 2021 and June 2022. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, disclosed this during the inauguration of the Enhanced Passport Production Center in Port Harcourt on Tuesday. For more details, turn to page 8 of the Punch newspaper.
And on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune, 2 killed as courts celebrate August 8 in Kwara. Kwara State Police Commander said 2 prisons were killed on Monday night at Olulade community in Aloore Metropolis as members of different cult groups celebrate August 8th, 88th Cult Festival. The State Police Public Relations Officer PPRO Kesomi Ajayi said 2 deaths were recorded, although residents claimed 4 persons were killed. Ajayi said, and I quote, only 2 persons were killed in the August 8th celebration by the cult group, and not 4 as being peddled around by some people. 1 person died at the spot of the crisis at Olulade, while the other was reported to have died later in the hospital. Talking on the cause of the clash, Ajayi said, you will know that yesterday, Monday, was August 8th, and the different culture groups were celebrating the day in many places in the town. Please read further on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune.
And from page 10 of the Punch, Corona indicts regulatory bodies over Ikoyi building collapse. The Corona Chief Magistrate Oyetade Komalafe on Tuesday attributed the November 1, 2021 Ikoyi 21-story building collapse to negligence in adhering to the best practices by the relevant agencies responsible for approval and supervision of the project. Komalafe disclosed this while delivering judgment at the Lagos Island Corona Division at Court 4, Surulere, after unraveling the circumstances that led to the November 1, 2021 21-story building collapse at 44 Gerard Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. For more details, turn to page 10 of the Punch newspaper.
On page 28 of Nigerian Tribune, Aloore Gbemi emerges new YPP governor's candidate in Oyo. Mrs. Aloore Gbemi Animashaun has emerged the gubernatorial candidate of the Young Progressive Party YPP in Oyo State for the 2023 general election. Aloore Gbemi emerged at the primary hall on Tuesday at the party secretariat opposite Genesis Hotel, Challenge, Ibadan. Aloore Gbemi pulled 25 votes to the great Agbomeji Olamide, who have 3 votes, while 4 votes were recorded as void. Please read more on page 28 of Nigerian Tribune.
And that's where we bring the curtain close for this edition of Newspaper Review live here on Aloore Radio. Don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. On Facebook, it is Aloore Radio. On YouTube, it is Aloore Radio. And you can visit our website on www.aloreradio.com. And you can also go to Google Play Store and download our application so you can get to connect with us. Once again, I am Eneyo Asukwa.
And I'm Temi Tokwe Ojo. Wishing you a pleasant day. Thanks for staying tuned. Bye.
Everything from breaking news.
President must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music, and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
omi tuntun tìrú ẹja tuntun wà ní odò ẹtún máa gbá.
kí ló dé tóun tó dáa kì í kún ẹlẹ́gàn lójú. ìjọba ẹnjìnìà Ṣèyí Mákindé ọ̀fẹ́ràn ṣekárí mi ni. ṣùgbọ́n bọ́lọ̀ ń bá rí ọ nítorí àfẹnuyọ sùsìsì tí ń dùn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. jẹ́yìn náà rí ọ ọ̀pọ̀ àṣeyọrí lórí ìdàgbàsókè níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti ṣe. ẹ̀já sọ díẹ̀ mbẹ́. ó pèsè ọkọ̀ lárìnká sọ̀fíntótó agbègbè iṣẹ́ ibi kárì ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. àfikún àtìrónilágbára fáwọn operation boss. dáyẹ́tẹ̀ ìwéré ilé àtàgọ́ rẹ̀ ó fi kún agbára ẹ̀rọ ayélujára bí òwìwí. gbàwòrán àṣẹlẹ̀ pàjáwìrì sílẹ̀ ńbàdàn commissioning of mobile squadron unit lágbára rẹ̀ ó dáwọ́lé múgbòòrò ètò ọrọ̀ ajé nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ nípasẹ̀ àgbẹ̀ farm of estates lákòfò èrúwà àti láwẹ́ pípín ohun ọ̀gbìn fẹ́gbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàá àgbẹ̀ asphalt and equipment níjàyè fífọwọ́sowó èmi ni mo ní nǹkan mi sí ọ̀fọ̀ lóṣù péréte ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ mílíọ̀nù fún dènà COVID-19